There we go. It's recording.
Okay.
Okay, good. And TK's on. David Harold. David Harold, you better be ready, buddy. And I expect this to be funnier than all get out.
No pressure, though.
Yeah,
No
no
pressure.
pressure. But I read those. I read those and I was cracking up. And I want to hear a lot of detail. It made me think of MASH. Jane and I have been watching MASH. And it's like, God, this is just like MASH.
Our ship was a lot like MASH, actually. We had some real characters. We actually had a radar type guy on our ship.
That's good. That's good. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to find a breakdown and get a new video audio thing.
Ah,
The first one Jane Ann got was only like $15. And then when it didn't work, she couldn't understand it. Oh, geez. So,
Excuse us, we're just having some soup here. We hadn't anything to eat today.
Late lunch.
good. Yeah, we want to watch you guys eat. In fact, you're allowed to talk with your mouths open because Mom is not here to get on.
How about you with our mouths open? I love that. one.
You can do that. You can do anything you want. You can even put your elbows on the table. Yeah. There's Gene. Gene and I spoke this morning about Irvin, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's see, Diane's
muted.
but she does that. She knows what she's doing. She knows.
She keeps working while we're zooming.
Admit, Susie. We've got crummy weather back here, you guys.
Oh, we've got
Oh, is
beautiful
it?
weather here.
Oh my gosh, look at Susie. Man, she's kind of dolled up today.
Hi, Susan.
Yeah.
Dolled up.
Yeah.
You look better than you did last week.
You should wear a black turtleneck all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gray.
Oh, is it gray? It looks black here.
Yeah,
Thank-
it looks navy blue here.
With
But
a
thank
black-
you. But thank you.
A black and white striped background.
But you got your hair cut, right? Did you get your hair cut this week?
No, I
Yeah.
just didn't do anything to it.
Well, it looks cute.
Yeah,
I'll show
yeah.
you whether we have.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I think he's going somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's got 5 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh.
5 inches.
Who has snow?
Yep.
Who has snow, Tom?
Jimmy
Yeah.
Hope,
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Van Pelt's coming on. He's going to give us an update. I talked to Bob yesterday.
Yeah, several
Tracy's
been
not
wondering
watching
about Bob and
Yeah, we're wondering, yeah.
the
Yeah, we are wondering.
raise.
He'll bring us up to date on that.
All right.
Um,
You can't control what the staff does when they're
Better.
at Arbor Trace.
Well, that's true, but it sounds like, well, I'll let him tell you, but it sounds
Yeah.
like they really do have their act together there.
Good.
No, that's good.
So, hi, Bob.
Hey, you guys, how are you?
I don't know how many of you are watching the IU game, but for us, for Hoosier
I
fans,
got Hoosiers.
for Hoosier fans, it's a pretty good day.
They believe in what the guy's doing, don't they? And they've got a lot of talent around him, yeah.
Yeah.
What channel is it on?
ABC.
ABC.
ABC. So I don't know over there in Dayton. What would that be? 7, 5, or 2?
22. I think that's 22. Yeah, I'll call you
Oh,
later.
and Katie's on.
Katie's on.
Hello.
Lisa's on.
Hello.
Katie's
Hi,
on.
Felice.
Nancy's
Hello.
on. Becky's on.
Hello.
Nancy
Elise.
sent a message. She's not going to be able to be on today.
Nancy Mallett.
Nancy Chapman.
Uh-huh.
Nancy Chapman. For all the boys, we have to use maiden names.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
Katie, that fan is going to drive us crazy.
Hey, Tom, I thought about a guy the other day, was in my homeroom, Gary Van Middlesworth. Does anybody know where he's at?
No.
No.
let me check here. I'm pretty darn sure I've tried to find him.
There's Nancy Bass.
Nancy
I
Bass.
know when their business
here.
left here,
Nancy?
when Vans left town here,
Yeah.
they sold the assets and real estate. And I haven't heard from Gary since then. He may be in Greenfield or somewhere. Green Castle, I don't remember.
Screen.
Well, hang on a second here. Let's see. Van Millsworth. There
But I
he
think his wife might have been an educator or something,
is. Okay.
because they were married when he was still here.
I got a name for you to think about. Like
All right.
Ridenhour.
Who?
Oops.
Like Ridenhour.
Yes.
Oh, Spike right
I
there.
remember him.
Who?
Oh, my God.
Lived on 16th.
Go ahead.
What's his last name?
Ridenour.
Ridenhour.
Wow.
He lived close to you, Nancy.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because I lived on 16th.
Yeah.
Hi, Judy.
Well, that's one
Hey,
there.
Judy.
Hi.
Hey, so as far as Gary Van Middlesworth is concerned, as far as I know, he is in Greencastle, Indiana, and I'm pretty darn sure he is getting these emails because
Green Castle, okay, yeah.
I do send it out to him.
Gotcha, okay, yeah.
Gary Van M 45@gmail.com, and I've written that in recently, so it must be a good address.
You must not want to be here, Tom, that's okay.
Yeah.
He
Well,
does-
how about that IU?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
24 to nothing right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the score?
24 to nothing.
Oh, fantastic.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yay,
yeah,
good.
And Michigan State has less than 100 yards.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
gosh.
still,
MSU had less than 100 yards about 10 minutes ago.
they've shut us out though in the second half,
Yeah,
so that's not encouraging.
Mm-mm.
It ought to be 48 to nothing.
but they're young, they're Michigan State's young. You guys got some
Easy,
talent.
Tom, easy, boy.
Uh-oh. Who just came in? Oh, Christy just came in. Okay,
Christy. Hey, Christy.
good.
Hey there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, and yeah, there's still 8 minutes left in the game. We could run the score up on them even more. So,
Kill.
yeah. Let's see. So today, so we want to hear, Bob, why don't you tell us, you and I were speaking the other day and we were all concerned based on what you told us last week that you had an outbreak.
Yeah.
So could you tell us, how things are going?
Just to kind of
tell them.
update you, this is not only us, but it's pretty well assisted living facilities around the state of Indiana. We're on the same protocol.
Okay.
We are divided into 3 zones as far as residential living. The green zone is people that are living normal lives in a residential assisted living facility. Yellow zone is people that are in transit and may or may not have a problem with COVID-19, but undiagnosed to completion at this point. They've been tested, they just don't have the results back. The red zone then is the intensive zone where the people who are COVID-19 positive are living.
Okay.
And those are hazmat, they are fully secured, they are wardened off, they are shielded with the dividers and all that stuff.
Oh.
So that would be true of not only us, but of 250 assisted living facilities in the state of Indiana. We've got a green zone, a yellow zone, and a red zone. Currently, we have 5 people in our red zone. We have 4 or 5 in our yellow zone, which is the people in transit. And the rest of us, which are like 94 residents, are in the green zone. So we're living a normal life as normal as it can be in a place like this. So thank you, Tom. That's kind of where we are. And I assume other states are doing the same thing.
I
Yes.
see that your door is open behind you. Does that go out into a hallway? Or is it
The
not
door
open?
behind me back this way is the restroom door.
Oh,
The door over to my
The
right
reason-
here is open and is also the hallway door. We are full access. My boundary is the stoop right there by my doorway.
oh,
So I
okay.
can go to the end of the doorway. I can chat back and forth with a mask on. I can do
Okay.
a number of things, but if I leave my room,
Right.
I am fully masked and I can only go to 2 different areas of the hospital. One of them is the hallway down by the nurses station. just
Okay.
for a change of station. And there's also a couple little patios out by the exits where we can go to during the daytime, get a little sunshine, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But we're pretty well locked down. I mean,
Is that a
it's
one
kind of
floor
what you see is
facility?
what I got.
I'm sorry, is that a one floor facility or
Is it
is
a
it
what now?
one floor?
One
is it-
floor, but we have 4 different wings.
Okay, yeah,
Some of the rooms are dual rooms. I'm in a single room.
good.
Some of the rooms are apartments,
Oh,
and some of them are dementia and Alzheimer unit is about 25 or 30 people.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Total
Well,
census
we're
would be about
interested.
150 right now, 160, if you count everybody.
So
We're
you do your own
interested.
cooking? You do your
I
own
do
cooking?
what now?
Your own cooking?
I have a microwave here for cooking.
Oh.
The meals here really are prepared for us and they're not too bad. We have 2 different entrees per meal and then several other starch items and desserts and that kind of stuff. The cook here is a guy that came out of the private sector. His name is Chuck something, but widely experienced, been around the restaurant business for a long time. And, you know, all in all, the food here is not bad for institutional food. And for those of you who don't know, I was in institutional food with, after my restaurants were sold, with Richmond State Hospital for 9 years. So I know a little bit about the business,
Oh,
about this kind of business.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had a couple hundred people every meal at Richmond State.
Wow.
realize you did that.
Wow.
So Bob, do they deliver that to your door?
Do I now?
Do they deliver the meals to your door?
Yeah, per day, right here to my desk, right where my computer's sitting is where my meals are delivered.
Cool.
They're in a stacking tray, rolling cart, if you guys are familiar with those in the
Yeah.
hospitals.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're marked by my yesterday's order. Today's order will be delivered to me tomorrow.
Gotcha.
So the day
3
when I got
meals?
breakfast, I filled out my 3 meals for tomorrow. And then those will come out to me tomorrow in order, and then I'll order again for Monday tomorrow.
Cool.
So it's not bad at all. It's not a bad system.
No.
And honest to God, the food is decent. It really is.
What's your favorite meal, Bob?
What is
What
one?
are your favorite things to eat?
The next one.
My favorite thing here is ribs and baked beans and coleslaw.
Oh,
Sounds
yum.
That's my
good.
favorite meal outside
Texas
of
food.
Yum.
Yeah, that
Bob,
doesn't change.
we're in
but your
Richmond,
favorite
is-
outside your favorite inside, right?
Are you
Pizza
permitted
here is
an
awful.
alcoholic
Bo got me
beverage?
a royal feast the other day for lunch from Pizza King, and that was a rare treat. So that was kind of cool, yeah.
You have a glass of wine?
I can have a glass of wine. I can have beer in my refrigerator, Tom, if I want it. I don't
Good.
drink anything anymore, but
Yeah.
I'd
Good.
like to have a glass of wine sometime if a good buddy came by and
Yeah.
we were out of the COVID business. I'd have a beer or wine with any of you, promise. Maybe no cigarette, Tom, if I could sneak one.
Oh,
in
no.
there.
Oh,
Good old Marlboro Light, yeah, just for old time's sake.
hey, Bob,
Oh, God.
Bob, I have a message for you. My
what
brother-in-law,
now?
I say, I have a message for you. My brother-in-law came by on Wednesday and he said to tell you hi. And that's Jerry Stanton.
Oh, wow. Well, be sure to tell him
Sure,
hi
got a
also.
shout out.
That's cool.
That's unreal.
How do you know each other? What's the connection?
What was
You
that
and
now?
Jerry. What's the connection with you and Jerry? How do you know each other?
What was his last name?
Stanton.
Then,
What did he
SNS
do?
Records.
How did he make a living?
Well, when he was in Richmond, his family owned SNS Records.
Well,
Out there on
there's a
West-
yeah.
great story about that.
I'm 40.
Dale Stanton, Mrs. Stanton, God, I can't remember her name. The
I
older
always-
lady that ran the place for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When we opened Famous Recipe West in 1984, the West Side store was brand new then. They probably ate lunch or dinner at our place 5 or 6 nights a week, the whole group. And then Dale Stanton Dale might have been a classmate of ours. I think Dale passed
he
away
was.
several years ago. But his wife Ruth was a great lady here in town and is probably still around here somewhere. No, thank you. And be sure to tell them hi. That's great, great
Well,
people.
I will. I see them quite frequently.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
I will.
I saw Mike Allen Jr. this week and he said his dad has COVID. He lives in Florida.
Yeah, he's in Naples. Mike Senior.
Yeah, he's in Nate. Yeah.
And he said he was
Yeah,
just
Mike's
getting
been there too,
over
guys.
the last stages of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
So Jane, can you bring us up to date about Dave?
Just gets better each day,
Oh.
actually.
Oh, that's crazy.
Started taking little walks now, so we do that every day. And he just got home from his 6th softball game where he's a
Oh my
school
gosh.
teacher.
That's-
His nurse came yesterday and she does want to keep him in hospice, which is fine with us. So
Oh, yeah.
unless he seeks treatment in January, but otherwise, so he's just doing great.
Good.
Watching the Masters.
Oh, yeah. Who
Yeah.
isn't?
Yeah.
And then Karen, I like we saw your husband in the background. So how's he doing?
He's doing pretty good. He's still low on energy, but we're waiting on December 8th for, again, I call him the spine doctor, to see if he'll take him out of the brace. So he's still, been past 2 months now in a brace every day. So, but he's not allowed to do any of that mowing or raking or shoveling,
Yep.
whatever, driving.
Lucky guy.
No
None
bending.
of, so is he lucky or what? I mean, the
Yeah,
leaves,
right.
the leaves are still out there.
Very
That's
lucky.
the only time you get it.
No, that's
And-
good to know then. That's good.
Yeah.
By
He's
the
not-
way, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, he's not good at letting me be out in the yard raking the leaves and he's inside. So it makes it difficult. I have to wait till he takes a nap and then run out and do something.
Like being a
Anyway.
teenager, you have to sneak out of the house, right?
That's right. Right into my own backyard or something.
Back to Dale Stanton. Again, I'm using actually it's
50th.
it's Judy Mills. It's her
Yearbook.
63 50th reunion directory, and she had always kept everything up to date. And so Dale, and his middle name was Hunt Stanton. And I must admit, I don't remember Dale. Anyway, she has here a date that he passed away on January 18th in 1988.
Oh my God.
Wow, that was a while ago.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
Now, he was a UPS driver until I think Jerry and he had a falling out as far as the business was concerned. Jerry and Mary Ann both moved down here with us and stayed with us for a little while, and then they found a home out in Sunrise Beach.
uh-huh,
Actually, Marble Falls, and they moved to Sunrise Beach. They built a house out there.
okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
now those your children?
No, that's my brother and sister-in-law. Tom's sister is Mary Ann.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
of course, she married Jerry.
Okay.
But they came in, being Veterans Day, they came into town and we went up to the cemetery. And then stopped by a little place called Andice and had the best hamburger I've ever had.
Well, good. That's
You'll
good.
make
Jimmy Hoke.
Mm.
Yeah, Jim. Well, first of all, you showed us the snow. Why don't you tell us what's going on out there, and when you got your snow, and then some other things going on there.
We've had snow for about 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it started one night. It was forecast, so wasn't a surprise. But this is about the earliest part of snow season that we've had here in a long
Yeah.
time.
How much do you have?
About 5 inches.
Yeah.
This is a big Nordic skiing area here.
Hmm.
They have groomed trails, hundreds of miles of groomed trails.
Nice.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's a destination ski resort for Nordic.
Hmm.
Not so much
Yeah.
It's a pretty high use recreation area.
Mhm.
for the most part.
Mhm.
Do you
Used to
ski,
be.
Jim? Do you
Pardon?
ski?
Not much anymore. I got some mobility issues going on.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, join the crow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too many years of mountain bike racing when I was in my 50s and
Wow.
Oh,
I
my
don't think
goodness.
that's what hurt me.
so anyway, yeah. So Tommy and I have shared some news this morning, but yeah, my brother Mike passed away this morning,
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and of course,
Younger?
Quite a
How
journey.
old?
there.
Older.
Was he younger?
no,
Older.
yeah, he's 7 years older than me,
Oh,
but that's only 3 weeks after my sister.
After your sister.
Yeah, your sister just passed away.
wow. Really?
October.
Gosh.
Oh, Jim.
So that's why I
Sad.
set out the picture, the three amigos, if you all
Ah.
see.
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great picture.
And then I sent out the new Hoke,
New home.
Theo,
Precious. He looks
Yeah.
precious.
with Nathan, my youngest son Nathan and his wife, Layla. That's their newborn.
the new one. Right.
Uh-huh, good.
So it's been I mean, I can't believe that 3 weeks apart, both siblings are gone.
Right,
All
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are you
they-
the last surviving one, Jim?
Huh? I am
Other-
it. I'm the last one standing.
Wow.
I'm that way too, Jim. Out of the three of us, I'm the last one standing.
Yeah. But their quality of life, I mean, Nan's quality of life was really in the pits for the last 3 years, at least at 4 or more. I don't know. Because she had MS, and but she's somehow kept it going. Ended up at Friends, and they took good care of her. But I mean, she was all bent over, and
Oh.
How old was this?
he was 85.
Okay, so you really were the baby, weren't you?
Oh yeah. Baby in the glass, I think. But yeah, the two of them, it's interesting. I mean, it's just like unreal to have them both go within 3 weeks of each other.
I imagine.
Yeah.
My sister Nan I was really closer to her. She and I buddies all the way up until she really started to get less communicative and be a little bit more not in touch with things as well as she used to be.
Yeah, it's too
And
bad.
my brother, Mike has been declining probably for 10 years or more.
Oh, you don't realize at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, when was that picture taken, of the three of you?
Yeah. When was that picture?
Yeah.
It was taken in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
10 years ago.
Jim, where did they live?
I'm younger looking then, but anyway.
Didn't
So,
we all?
Where did your siblings live?
Nan was in Richmond her whole life. And she ended up, she and her husband, Tom Swanson. I don't know if any of you knew Tom.
No.
He used to work for my dad at Harrington Hoke, and so he was an ag major at Purdue, and so they had a farm outside of Richmond on Faust Road, and close to the Eggemeyers, I think.
Okay.
So, but that went on until he died in a tractor accident. Day before they were getting ready to leave for 4th of July. God, I don't remember what year now it was.
Wow.
So she couldn't take care of the farm, of course, all the kids were pretty much gone. So they sold the farm, and then she moved into, I think it's North 28. She moved next to Glenn Miller Golf Course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Where Mr. Hannah lived.
For who?
If anybody remembers Mr. Hannah. the
Oh,
man-
yeah, I remember
Oh,
Mr. Hannah.
yeah. Yeah. He didn't invite me to his house though, Judy, like he did you.
What?
He didn't invite me to his house. How do you know where he lived?
Well, there were just some of us, who got invited
I
over.
know.
I was a good math student.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
sure.
The Ball family, you remember family called Balls? Ball family. They were the ones that she bought the house from.
Okay.
So
Dr. Ball. Yeah.
The dentist, Dr. Ball.
Oh, he was the
I
dentist. yeah.
remember that.
Oh, yeah.
South 14th Street, wasn't it?
yeah.
Dr. Ball's
All
right
right.
from South 14th Street.
And Mike was living in Lake Forest area, north of Chicago. He worked in Richmond for I don't know how long, but he was. If you remember the stock brokerage firm that was down on the corner of the Leland Hotel for a few years. Yeah, that's he got his start in selling stocks, and eventually went to work for Morgan Stanley up in Chicago.
Okay.
Up in Chicago, okay.
Yeah, and I was the board marker in that stock or that office there. I'd stand there at a big chalkboard, and I watched the ticker, and then we had the stock.
Those were the old days, Jim.
Yeah, when was that, Jim?
Yeah.
Huh?
When was
Interesting.
that?
I forget. It might have been early college or late high school. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes
Okay.
sense.
So anyway, that's my
Jim, did
introduction.
Mike
to
commute
business.
back and forth from Lake Forest for a
Pardon?
long?
He what?
Came in here a couple days a week and then lived up there the rest of the time.
Who?
Mike, your brother, Mike.
No, they moved out of town in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He lived up there and then commuted back and forth, I think, didn't he, son?
Yeah, maybe he did.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't remember that detail.
I used to see him a couple days a week.
Yeah, I was kind of living my own life at that time. I think I was still in
Yeah,
the service. But yeah, well, Mike, of course, you know him from high school. He was on that really good football team.
yeah, undefeated
And
team.
the Satterfield and Jerry Dills was quarterback.
Yeah.
And then he went recruited by Notre Dame by Terry Brennan. Unfortunately, Terry Brennan got fired before Mike got there. And then they had hired Joe Q. Herrick, who came from the Washington Redskins, and was old school NFL. And most of the guys that came in Mike's year ended up quitting because it was just too brutal. And then so anyway, so
What year was he at Notre Dame?
he was at Notre Dame and let's see, graduated I think from high school in 57, so he'd be 58, 59, 60.
Yeah.
Okay, my husband graduated in 58. He had Terry Brennan.
Huh?
He
That died?
graduated, my husband graduated in 58.
Jim, there's a footnote to that whole story. When Kuhari got fired at Notre Dame, a guy named Jerry Woolman, who bought the Philadelphia Eagles at that time, signed Joe Kuhari to a lifetime contract.
Oh my God.
Head coach and general manager.
Unbelievable.
Kuhari took the Eagles franchise and just ran it into the ground. And that was part of what happened to me along the way. When I got injured, they wouldn't pay me for my injury or anything else. So I was out of it. I really got some good warm feelings for Joe Kuhari.
Yeah,
Is he
Warm and
dead?
fuzzy feelings, yeah.
He's bad. He was bad news. But anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you guys.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you hear
Yeah.
that?
Sorry.
They've both been, sort of declining, and so it's not like it's a shock.
No, I
But
understand.
it is a shock anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So close together.
I mean, Mike really was not aware of what was going on for 3 or 4 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
The hell of a guy.
Side stories on him, though, is he actually coached at Earlham for the year. I remember the coach's name was Huntsman.
Yeah.
Jerry Huntsman, yeah.
Gary Huntsman, I remember that name.
Yeah,
Was
the
Jerry
one
Huntsman.
or two good years that Earlham had a good football team.
Actually said Earlham playing in 63 because he graduated from Richmond in 62. He just went to Earlham for 2 years. I know he played the year that I was still in high school. That's why I remember it was 62 and 63. But he was at Earlham. Was this near that time, 62, 63? Because I remember Jerry Huntsman.
Yeah, I don't remember the time frame.
In 63, I think Jerry
Earlham
Huntsman
guys
would have
might
been athletic
know it.
director. I think Jerry Huntsman would have been athletic director and Rick Carter might have been the head coach in 63, Christie.
Okay.
Very close, yeah.
Anyway,
Rick Carter had played there and got promoted. When Jerry moved to AD, Rick got promoted to head coach at Earlham, I believe.
Okay.
that was their last good football years.
But it looks like Rick put off showing off.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
And I think those are live shots. He must be back out
Oh,
in
yeah.
Florida.
hey, I apologize. I haven't seen you folks for about 6 weeks, but I'm moving out of this house I love, but Sherry
that
wants
looks
to move. This
That
is
looks
an
like
in-
Place
courtyard home,
sure looks pretty.
waterfalls and crap that I'll never see again.
Uh-huh.
All I've been
Moving
doing is
to.
packing and moving and fixing a trailer up to haul a bunch of crap.
Well, where are you moving to, Rick?
Yeah, why move? Why
The house is too big for Sherry. She doesn't want to take care of it any longer, so we're moving down south towards Naples, to be closer to our daughter Caroline, for one thing.
Oh,
Okay.
You're moving where?
you're
Well, we're
making-
moving from Fort Myers to Naples,
Yeah.
Florida. And,
I know. You're moving to Naples?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell us.
Well, I didn't know we were going to move. We just sold our house in 2 days.
Yeah, I know the market's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I did not want to move, but there's an old saying, if you're a man and married, you can be happy or you can be right.
Right.
I hadn't heard that before, Rick.
I chose happy.
Life, happy life, right, Rick? There you go.
So why don't you give us the new address if you know it, so that
Right.
know? Maybe
Well, we don't know where we're moving. We're renting.
Right.
We're renting
Oh.
for 6 months. Hope we find a place by then.
Well, why don't you move in with Katie and Jamie?
Yeah, we've got extra room.
Yeah, Katie, if they'd invite us, they've got enough room. They could take us in.
Sure. No problem.
Got a nice golf course, swimming pool.
Yeah. Except they're not allowing any outside guests, with
Oh,
all this
really?
COVID stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Katie, what are you making?
I am doing some crafts, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just wondered.
All right.
I can multitask.
I know that. I know that.
There's someone else who was multitasking while on a Zoom call.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it up.
Christy,
Yes.
how's your foot? And then, in fact, we want you to, whatever you say, we want you to prove it. So we want to see your foot again, like you showed that one
No,
time.
look, it's still in the cast. See.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Oh, it's still in a boot. Yeah.
And that's like the doctor that maybe it was a broken bone. And you were right. And so,
You do.
yeah. So it's a couple bones on the top of the foot. So I know it's like, and it's obviously not fun, but it's just fun. Just fine.
Okay.
I do take it off when I get in the car since I'm not supposed to drive. It's like illegal. and it's
Yeah.
a little off. So I, going in and out of something to take it off. I can drive. Max has been out of town for 10 days. I mean, if I couldn't drive, I don't know, it would be kind of, he's on his way back. Max is on his way back from hunting in Colorado with
Did he get
Jacob.
anything?
Right.
They didn't get anything. They were hunting.
They were
I mean,
hunting.
Not killing.
they were killing. No, but Jacob flew home last night from Denver, got him down that. They were about 5 hours north of there somewhere. I don't know where they were hunting. They camped out the whole time. Max took so much stuff and they always camp out anyway, but then they hardly went to a restaurant at all because of the COVID stuff. So he had enough food that he didn't have to do that. I mean, they didn't have to go to restaurants, but he's been on his way home since yesterday morning. And I talked to him mid-afternoon. He's driving, all the stuff home, big trailer.
Oh,
And then our daughter and her boyfriend, they were, as Jane and Judy know, they were in for about 4 days for her 50th birthday, which was Tuesday. No, today's Saturday, it was Thursday. And he got COVID. So they ended up driving home because she did most of the driving. And they got in yesterday, Cincinnati. And God, she took it so well. He's really he really is not terribly sick, thank goodness. But it's really good they got home in case he would end up really have to go.
Yeah.
But no, he's just frustrated because he feels like he ruined her birthday.
That's too bad.
Absolutely fine. It was she said it was a beautiful drive back. Of course, they'd flown out. No, they're going to have to drive back, but she said it worked out fine. Jamie's doing okay. He just is extremely tired.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they got out of there in case he gets really sick.
Yeah.
Did she have to do all the driving?
She said he drove for about an hour.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
a long drive.
Yeah,
He
it
was
is.
really tired. And she said, she said, and I didn't mind at all. She said it was so gorgeous and the weather was good. The roads were good. She said it was not like any effort. And so it sounded great. And she said the night when they really got into almost to Cincinnati the night before last, but did not drive in because now the house, the horses and the chickens and the dogs, and I'm taking care of everything. Sleeping at their house, and she said we didn't want to come in the middle of the night. So she said they stopped in Indiana somewhere because they had another about 5 hours to get to Cincinnati, and it'd be really in the middle of the night. She said they slept for 12 hours.
Wow.
Whoa.
She said it was like we were so close to home, but it was like, no, there's no reason to rush home. We're getting home early the way it is. And let's make sure Sherry's got a chance to finish up in the morning the way she knew they were coming home that afternoon. And she said, my God, Mom went to bed at 9, woke up and she said, because she was just very cheerful when I talked to her yesterday. And she said, that's the most rested I've ever been when I've been walking.
Wow.
I can't driving. They're fine. They're fine.
Well, that's good. That's good. I just got word from actually my brother and his wife who are out in Northern California that their daughter, my niece, who lives outside of Dayton, that her husband, they don't know yet. He went to get tested, but he said he got sick at work and he felt like a ton of bricks had hit him. And he's bad, and he went home and he's like in a separate bedroom all by himself, and he's himself. But his wife, my niece, is not feeling well, and they've got 2 little kids.
Oh, gee.
No.
What is it, 3, 4?
3, I think. Yeah.
So anyway, but we don't know if they've got it or not.
Right.
So,
Right.
and he owns 2 barber shops, and they said, or the niece was telling her mom and dad that the other day, all of the barbers for some reason went out to lunch together.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So who knows? But they immediately shut down the barber shops, and
Yeah.
so.
Probably notified
Yeah.
everybody, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let me, you noticed when I sent out the invite this week, or the reminder, that I mentioned about Irvin back.
Yeah.
And we had talked about Irvin a few weeks ago. And I don't know how to even I think it was because we were going back through the alphabet and trying to remember people, seeing if we could find other people and all of that. And then, so lo and behold, you guys know that I talk to John Bryant every Saturday morning.
Right.
And I was talking with John today, and I said, well, how was your week? And he says, well, it was okay. He says, I'm fine. But he said it was he said, my former pastor passed away. And I said, oh, really? Who was that? And he said, Irvin Baxter.
Yeah.
You are kidding. He says, oh, yeah. He said,
Is that from our class, that Irving?
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
Irvin
Yeah.
Baxter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read some stuff to you here.
Oh my God.
It's one of those things, it's like, I knew Irvin. I knew who he was, and I didn't know him that well. And
Right.
He
No,
passed away from complications of COVID.
yeah. So
If you recall.
Irvin Lee Baxter Jr., he was born in Richmond, but his father was a Pentecostal preacher, like the old school kind of preacher. And I guess also his mother also was a minister, and he said she was like Scandinavian, but she had come from Indianapolis. But anyway, as he said that he knew, this is John, knew that Irvin had always wanted to play sports. And did any of you go to junior high or grade school?
He did, yeah. He was in our class at Pleasant View, Tommy.
Well,
Was
We were talking about him
test?
and his religion. He felt like his religion wouldn't let him play sports.
well, it was his mom and dad wouldn't let him play sports. So I guess you said
That's his religion.
John said that there was no way they were going to let him get involved in anything because they were planning
Where you had to change clothes.
Yeah. Oh.
The big deal for them was changing clothes in front of other people.
Oh my God.
And wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Irvin's dad
Oh,
started a Pentecostal church down on Fairview.
Eighth and L.
Fairview, that was their original Pentecostal church.
Oh.
And Irvin and his father developed a mission or
Ministry? End-time ministries.
End-time Ministries, ENDTIME. And the whole thing was about Armageddon and about the end of the world, about the Bible prophecies.
Armageddon.
And and they had a huge following at one time, Tom, in Plano, Texas. The last time I checked on their ministry, they were down to about 220 people. So it had gone from like 15 or 1,800 down to 1,200 or something like that. But they're still in End-Time Ministries in Plano, Texas.
Okay.
For heaven's
Is that where Irvin lived? Was in
Yes,
Texas?
they moved here from, Irvin and his wife had three girls, and two of the three worked for me.
Yeah.
And one of them, Carol, was kind of a renegade gal. And so her mom and dad would drop her off at work every afternoon and pick her up every evening.
Would you be a renegade?
I kind of kept an eye on her. But they lived, their last home in Richmond was on Bachmeyer Road, very near Sam Witherby, if you guys know where Sam lived.
I know the name Witherby.
Remember
Roar's old house.
Coca-Cola people.
Hi, Diane.
Right next, there's a big contemporary house that Irvin and his wife lived in before they left for Texas.
Huh.
He felt like his home was in Plano, Texas, right outside of Dallas. And they've been down there. One of the gals that works here was actually a member of their church. They've been down there probably 30 years, maybe a little more than that.
Huh.
I think he came to one of our class reunions and gave the prayer or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody, I gotta go back to work.
Go back to work, Rick.
It's Saturday.
Hey, seeing you. Hope you're all well.
What's going on, Rick?
Thanks
Come
thanks
back.
for saying hi. Good luck. Good luck.
Be
Good
careful,
luck.
Rick.
And
Take
keep
care,
us
everybody.
posted on progress.
Yeah.
If I ever
Yes.
get my move done. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, a little bit more.
IU won 24-0, Rick.
Yeah.
What's that?
IU won 24-0. Played
Who'd you
Michigan
play?
State. Purdue plays at 5.
Oh, really? Well, thanks,
Purdue's on
bud.
TV at 5. Yeah, if you got a minute.
See you later, man. I'll take a break.
Yeah.
Bye, Rick.
A little bit more about Irvin, which I found was interesting. So Bob told you about End Time Ministries, but he did establish a TV and radio program when he got to Texas called End of the Age, which at its hiatus, it got to reached over 100 million households in North
Oh
America,
my gosh.
Oh my God.
all satellite and internet distribution worldwide.
That thing, Katie.
And
Was
he
it about
also-
the world ending?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what it was all about. And he founded something called the Israel Project in 2013. And that endeavor included online Jerusalem-based Bible school and Jerusalem Prophecy College. So here's Irvin that I don't know many of us paid that much attention to. The guy became pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Tom, it also said he had started as a traveling minister at age 19 and then became the pastor at 26 for 33 years here in Richmond.
Yeah, he took over his
Oh,
dad's.
that is.
Mhm.
Good thing he didn't play sports.
I just remember because he lived close to me. We're on 21st Street.
Oh.
We lived when we first moved there until I was 10 on 21st between Main and A Street, South A Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And that is, because Susie lived close there too. But Irving was right up towards A Street on 21st, kind of the house set back and just see it. But he was always had a smile. He was always friendly. He always just, I don't remember him from high school, but I do remember him when I was younger. And I think he went to Test, unless he
Yeah,
went
he
to
did.
Earl.
Yes.
Test. We lived really close to Test then.
Yeah.
So
You did, yeah, we still.
he was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's had a good life for him. It sounds
Very, yeah.
did a lot of neat things.
Now, who was it?
Was.
Gene, you may have been the one who was telling us when we first started talking about him that he and another classmate of ours, and I've forgotten her name, but I remember her. I could look her up if I just started going through pictures. But that they always used to get in debates about religion. Who was it that?
Oh, Sally.
Sally, she lived down on 14th.
Sally
at the
Sparks.
corner. No.
Sally Sparks. She was in my homeroom and she talked to me about religion all the time.
Judy Sparks.
Judy Sparks.
Judy
That was
Sparks.
it.
Oh,
That's it.
What's something Sparks?
Was he a Catholic, if I remember right? Yeah.
No,
I don't think so.
no.
I think she was sort of evangelical or something.
She was Pentecostal, I think. I think she was Pentecostal. as well.
Pentecostal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think so.
Yeah, Judith Eileen Sparks, and I remember Judy. Yeah, but anyway, so we talked about Irvin, just 3 weeks ago, and then Gene saw the obituary and sent that to me, and then lo and behold, John starts telling me all about this guy, and I was like, man alive.
Oh my gosh,
And you just never know.
That's right.
You just
Well,
never
and
know.
then another sad thing is a girl that had been in his church. I don't know what her maiden name was, but it's Nikki Alcorn, had flown down for his funeral and flew back and spent the night with a friend in Greenfield, and her husband left to go get her, and he was in that real bad wreck on Thursday up here on 70, and he got killed.
Oh, my word.
God.
That's awful.
Last name was
Oh my God.
Alcorn.
Oh.
So now,
Gosh.
let's move from bad news to good news.
Good news.
David Harold sent me on
Look at
Veterans
David. Look at
Day
David.
a couple more of those articles, and I don't know if you guys read them, but they were good.
He's got his
And
whiskey shirt on.
especially in the red print.
His whiskey helps.
Yeah, whiskey helps. Now, so Dave, I think you've got to go back through those couple of articles, all that stuff that was going on. You kind of told us some of that stuff, but all this stuff about, going out and like that your captain having the being in the bar and drinking ouzo. How many of you guys have tasted ouzo?
Oh, awful.
Ouzo will definitely.
Yeah, I had some.
It'll get you.
Connie Marker and I drank a lot of ouzo.
Yeah, so David Harold, let's hear some real colorful stuff, buddy.
January of '67, I joined the Fox. My buddy requested I come on board the Fox with him. So I literally walked on the ship, they threw the rope off and we were underway. And hit a storm the second day, 70-foot seas, and I'm thinking, jump overboard now and get it over with. So I lived through that, didn't get sick. So I said, well, maybe I'm cutting for this after all. So we pulled into this port.
Oh, yeah.
Thessaloniki. And I'm on Liberty and I'm walking back to the ship and at that point, I'm a first class petty officer, which is like an E5, E6, somewhere around there. And I see the captain sitting by himself in this little corner bar. So I walked in, I said, hey, Captain, what are you doing? He goes, oh, Harold, come over here, join me. He says, I'm drinking this ouzo stuff. He says, it's got opiates in it.
Whoops.
Well, I thought we weren't supposed to drink it because it had opiates in it. He goes, well, that's for the enlisted guys. He says, I know you're in, but why don't you have a couple with me? So we drank 3 bottles of that.
Oh my gosh. Can't something like Zorba the Greek.
No wonder he
Really?
didn't forget that.
Yeah, it's a horrible taste, I think. So I suggested we do beer shooters with it. We use some beer to cleanse our palates. And I looked at the watch and I said, hey, Captain, it's 12 o'clock west. Liberty launch is probably gone. We need to think about getting down there. He says, oh, crap. Well, he stands up and falls flat on his face.
Oh, no.
So I'm staring at him and I said, well, what do I do? Do I stand up and fall on my face or should I watch out for the captain? So I decided I'll watch out for the captain. And about 10 minutes later, the shore patrol comes in and goes, what are you guys doing in here? Liberty's over. I said, well, look, there's the captain on the floor. I didn't want to leave him. Can you stand up? I said, I haven't tried. So I start to stand up and they have to grab me. They end up getting 2 gurneys and strapped to the gurneys.
Oh my
God.
They carry us back to the Liberty launch, take us back to the ship. The executive officer standing on the deck and he's looking at the both of us and he goes, I don't want to know. Captain went to bed. I went to bed. Nothing was ever said after that.
Good. Good.
Hell,
And you didn't get sick. Huh.
get sick.
You lived.
Simon.
David, isn't that about 120 proof?
It's pretty.
Isn't ouzo about 120 or 140 proof?
Yeah, you shouldn't be drinking it straight up.
Poison in a bottle, yeah.
Yeah.
But you were protecting us at all times, right?
Yeah, the beer protected me.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Well, you still have the memory, so it didn't do
Yeah.
brain. Well,
We
maybe.
had a pretty good friendship between officer and enlisted that night.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Treated me fairly well. I'm sure he didn't want the story to go any farther.
No.
It's odd. 5 weeks later, we're out on a gun firing. And I'm back in the gun director's a big thing on top of the ship with big telescopes on it. Weighs about 40 tons, I would say. And the gunnery officers in the front, along with what's called a pointer and a trainer, they kind of guide the radar to find things. And then I'm in the back on the radar. And all of a sudden, the director takes off in a big, fast sloop, twisting around. It stops. And I hear something coming up the steps of the ladder. The canopy comes back. The captain comes down with his arm and grabs the gunnery officer and yanks him out of the seat.
Yikes.
Said several very dirty words. And I know 5 weeks later, I get called to his stateroom. He goes, you know what? You're the closest thing I have to an officer. And he says, Mr. Grigsby will be leaving this ship via High Line today. And he says, so you will become a limited duty officer and be in charge of weapons.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my.
What's the High Line? What's the High Line?
They shoot a line across to another ship. They put a little chair on that line. You get in it and they pull you across as both ships are moving.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Zip line.
Yeah.
Zip line.
And there is Phase Center, and the first time you go across, there's a little ceremony that they have to dunk you.
Oh, yeah.
They
Get that
didn't they didn't dunk Mr. Grigsby, but they did me several months later. So that was the affair with the Uzo. It was really hilarious. And then he and I got along pretty well. And then I had some problems early on in my naval career. I and the chief gunner's mate were out at a bar in Toulon, France. And we see these French uniforms. They have these cute little hats with the pom-poms on top, red pom-poms. I said, hey, Chief Dorn, don't you think we ought to get a couple of those? He goes,
Oh, geez.
Oh, sure.
he's like, okay, maybe we can buy those. I said, hell, we don't have to buy them. We'll just trade our hats. So we trade our hats. We're sitting here with these two French sailors. We have our pom-poms on. He's got my officer hat. He's got Dorn's chief's hat on.
Sounds good.
And we just get totally sauced. I mean, beyond belief. So once again, we missed the Liberty launch.
Man.
We're walking along the pier, and we're not at a pier that's connected to land. It's a pier that's out on a little island. So I see the rowboat, and I said, you know what? Rather than get in trouble, let's take the rowboat. We'll just row over to the other pier.
Sounds good.
So we both get in there and we row over to the other pier. We step out of the rowboat and we sink into mud up to our knees.
Oh.
And all these lights come on. And all these people with machine guns are pointing guns at us.
Oh my gosh.
They're yelling at us in French. So I put my hands up. They take us off to some NATO jail in Toulon. Our captain comes to pick us up. Literally, he just looked at us and shook his head and said, get the F in the
Out of here.
Well, you can, right? Yeah.
Yep. So there we went. That was our trip there.
How long have you been in the Navy at that point?
What, pardon?
How long had you been in the Navy at that point?
Well, I spent an ungodly time at Great Lakes for boot camp. I spent almost a year and a half there because in the Navy, they give you some exams and they determine what you will be. I was going to be a fire control technician. So they signed me up for the school, but it doesn't start right away. So I become a barracks commander for new recruits. So I decided, might as well use this time. I took night courses at Northwestern because IU had messed up my draft deferment. So I figured I'll take night courses and transfer them back to IU. So I got to go to school at night, and then in between time went to all these classes on blowing stuff up, radar, target designation, asset management. And it took almost 52 weeks of school, and that's when I went to the Fox. So that's why he chose me to be his new gunnery officer. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I let my husband read your articles and he loved them. He said nobody can relate to 70-foot waves unless you've actually been at sea.
Yeah, I was on a destroyer. Destroyers don't typically ride very well anyway. I mean, they're rocking and rolling most of the time. But in 70-foot seas, you can actually capsize at a
Ooh.
47-degree roll. And that storm, we were doing 46s consistently.
Oh, man.
And I really meant to be praying.
Oh.
Absolutely horrible.
Ugh.
Well,
I would know. Yeah, snow.
yeah, so Jane Ann wants to know if Judy has any snow.
No, but Vermont just got really locked down because we're spiking. So we're down, we can only, this is really, we haven't had this before. We can only be with our family. And you can't even take a walk with anybody else, masked or no masked. You can't be with anybody but your family.
Wow.
Period. Because it happened because people were having small gatherings and Halloween parties and people got lazy, and it started going up. So the governor, I mean, honest to God, he's the best governor. And he looks like Mr. Rogers. And he looked about 150 years old yesterday because he's trying so hard, but everybody's going to have to do it. So you can't like have a cup of tea with anybody, even on your porch. You just can see your family. And luckily, if you're a single person, you can go into your kids' families. But if I don't know what happens if you're a couple, you have to go into separate kids or something. But they're leaving the restaurants open a while. And this is a weird one. They're leaving the bowling alleys open. Duh.
You're kidding.
No.
Bowling alleys?
Bowling alleys, like, but anyway.
Oh, you got other families there. That's weird.
It's getting really locked down, but he figures if we do it right now, maybe in 3 weeks, it'll be turned around. So
how can they monitor it?
Judy?
Yeah.
Judy, I look at the stats on that, and I mean, Vermont was like 1 or 2 or 3 a day, and now it's 99 and 100.
It's gone up 80%, but we were so low.
I know.
It's lower than everybody else. But he's just done such a good job. It's been the lowest state in the whole country, right straight through until now.
It has,
Right.
Judy,
So-
are your schools up there all virtual now?
No, we've got kids going 2 days a week in real, and then the rest virtual, but that might have to change. They're not sure. They're trying to keep the kids in school.
Minneapolis changed last week to go all virtual beginning Monday, so
Are they?
it's coming.
Yeah, it could happen, but anyway, it's kind of sad because we've been doing really well up until then, and people probably got too relaxed. And there was one broom ball. You guys all know what broom ball is? It's like hockey.
Yes.
Brooms.
Yeah.
Broom ball. Broom ball.
What?
Are you talking about broom ball games?
Yes, broom ball, yes.
There was a broom
I
ball
thought-
game, and from that one game, nobody wore masks. 150 cases came. And I mean, that's a lot in a little state.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Anyway, there you go. So we're all good, but it's a hard time of year to have to be all separate because everything is gray sky,
Yeah,
gray
yeah.
ground, gray fences, gray, everything. Yes.
Except the
So-
horses.
What?
Except the horses.
Yeah, one's black and the other's brown. But we don't have snow, but we're supposed to get some snow tonight. We have had, but it's gone. So, yeah, I hope you guys are doing, I know the middle of the country is bad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of?
I'm
restrictions are you
waiting.
doing?
Yeah, I think the governor of Ohio may end up closing the restaurants this week. We're not sure. Is that what you'd heard, Christy or Diane?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So we'll see.
Yeah. Something about Thursday, he may make a decision about that.
And we'll
Yeah.
be right behind him, so, we kind of run together, yeah.
Well, my son,
Texas, I hear Texas is very iffy.
That's because of El Paso. El Paso's so bad. That's what,
Worst in the country, I think.
Okay.
and
And nobody
El
else is?
Pardon me?
Nobody else? No other city?
Well, it's gotten it's getting a little more, but El Paso's so bad because the immigrants are going back and forth every day across the border because they're coming up here to work for it's seasonal
Yeah.
stops and all that. So they're just carrying it back and forth.
It's the same way in Eastern Washington. We got a lot of migrant apple pickers and
Harvest time, yeah.
yeah. But my son, who's teaching first grade, the one with the new baby, third grade or fifth grade, they're in person schooling now. And he goes to school in the morning, comes home, goes in the garage, strips off all his clothes,
Yeah.
throws them in the washer,
Takes
goes
a
and takes a shower every day. That's his routine.
Well, thank God he does.
Yeah.
That's what my daughter does.
That's kind of, I mean, it's like, yeah, that's what they need to do.
My granddaughter does. She's a nurse at Reed, and they took all their chemo and immune therapy areas and put it down in Lingle Hall, and they're using that area for COVID patients.
Yeah.
And they're looking for 25 more rooms, I understand, at Reed too. Yeah.
Wow.
My daughter works in a nursing home here in Terre Haute.
Oh my gosh.
And her routine when she gets off work is exactly the same. She strips and everything goes in a bag and then goes into the washer and she gets in the shower.
Yeah.
They do the same thing here. That's what happens here when people get off work. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
My story is that my son-in-law, what was called a health day on Monday, and his coworker at Beaver Creek High School here in Ohio came down with COVID. And if he would have been at school that Monday, he would have been quarantined for 2 weeks. So he just kind of lucked out that that was a day he chose not to go into work. And now his 35-year-old coworker is in the hospital. He's actually in the hospital. So it's not good.
It's not good.
Well, I have a funny story.
Mo Van Paul family live in Tulsa and they have 0 beds available for COVID patients in Tulsa, Oklahoma now. There's none unless you go to the suburbs. So.
Okay, who has the funny story?
Let's hear the funny story, Jane.
My brother is receiving chemo at Reed Hospital. And so last week he had to go and have the port put in or something. And so he had to take off all his clothes and they did the procedure and got dressed and went home. And he said to his wife, I can't find my watch anywhere. And so they called the hospital and they said, no, we haven't seen it. And it had sentimental value because it had belonged to my dad. And so for several days, it's like, well, I guess the watch is missing.
Where do you think the watch was? What had he done with the watch when he took it off?
He had to take it off when he was in the hospital.
But where did he put it?
Well, if he
But he
knew,
didn't
then
know.
he lost it. He couldn't find it.
I was just curious.
He didn't realize till he got home that
he
didn't have the watch. And so it was still at the hospital. So a few days later, he had to get dressed to go back for another procedure. And he went to put his shoes on and the watch was in.
Oh, that's good. Good. That's good.
Funny how he didn't discover that.
I can see that.
He didn't discover that, putting his shoes on?
No, because he has neuropathy and he doesn't have any feeling.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my Lord. Oh.
They were so apologetic to the hospital.
I bet.
With him the whole time.
Oh, well, good. They got.
Well, our story was that when Tom was in the hospital with his broken back, he lost one of his hearing aids in the bed sheets. And so it took us 3 months or 2 months now to get that finally replaced. We were lucky because Tom gets some help from the VA. And so that's where he gets his hearing aids. And I called them right away, and these were brand new hearing aids this year. And they said, oh, we'll send it in the mail. It'll be there in 2 weeks. Well, that would have been the end of September. Well, that didn't happen. And then he had an appointment in October to go. Well, no, he went back to the hospital for gallbladder. So then we missed that one. Then we show up on November 5th to get the hearing aid at the VA, and they go, we don't have an appointment for you. And I'm going, oh my gosh. So they did end up working us in, and they did have the hearing aid, and he finally has his new hearing aids, both of them.
Oh, good.
Hospital just wrapped up the hearing aid in those bed sheets, and that was, I'm sure that those linen companies have lots of hearing aids.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet they do.
Ruined.
Jane, so did your brother develop neuropathy that quickly from?
No, he's had it for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now Dave has neuropathy from the chemo.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You don't know if
That happens a
ever
lot.
go away or not. And his isn't as severe as
Yeah.
his Jim's, but when we walk, Dave says, I feel like I'm a duck walking because he can't really quite feel when he puts his feet down.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
Oh,
So
that's
I don't know if
interesting.
that'll go away or not.
Yeah.
wow.
Well, I have, I've gotten the shingles and they put me on Lyrica for the pain, for the nerve pain. And it has helped the neuropathy in my feet amazingly.
Really?
I'm not taking the
good.
gabapentin anymore.
Taking you off, Jane?
Huh?
Taking you off helped you?
Do I?
Taking you off of Lyrica helped you?
No, putting me on it.
Putting you on, yeah.
I had not
started to
taken
have
it and they
reaction
put it
to
on me
it.
for the
I'm gonna go
pain for
back
the
on it.
shingles. And I'm not taking the gabapentin, and I'd been taking that for years and it didn't help.
Gotcha, yeah, okay.
But the Lyrica really helped.
Did it help the shingles pain?
It has helped. Yeah, I still have it, but it's a lot worse without it.
Huh.
Wow.
Had you had the shingle shot?
Did you have the
No, I
shingle
was gonna
shot,
get
Dean?
it- Nope, I was gonna get it this year, but I got the shingles
Oh.
before I got the shot.
Oh,
And now I can't get the
Yeah.
shot until December.
Right.
But we had talked about it and just hadn't gotten it, and then I got the shingles, so now I will get the shot.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you've had this, had shingles?
Yeah,
can
because
still
you
the
can
shot?
get them again. You
Yes,
can
you
get
can.
them
You
again.
can
Yeah,
get shingles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Tom's
that
had
the one that you get two? You have a
Yeah.
Got two.
pneumonia?
3 months apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's much more effective than the first one they
Right.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll
Well,
tell you
there's a
what,
pneumonia one also that I think you get.
You get
So
two
that-
per year.
That's
Pneumonia's
one
every
shot. That's a
5
long time, pneumonia.
I'll tell you what, watch out for that second shingle shot, because when they gave that one to me, I thought my arm was gonna fall off for a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that hurt. That really hurt.
Well, my husband goes next month. He got his first one, and he goes next month for his second one.
Well, don't tell him.
Don't tell
He's
him.
the word.
We both
What
thought
about
the
the
first one was worse.
vaccine? Is anybody going to take the COVID vaccine if it?
I would take it.
Yeah, I would.
I would
It's
take
not
it.
around.
I would too.
It's
Well,
not
when
out
it's-
yet.
When it comes out.
Yeah,
Oh, for
When-
Well, heck
sure.
yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah, when it does, right.
Well, good, because I've talked to a lot of people that said they won't.
They
Well,
won't.
I
Why?
won't take it until my
Why?
one doctor says it's okay to take that one.
I
Right.
want to, I would go by what my doctors say.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
there's no-
exactly.
they're not going to be throwing and say, oh, yeah, I'll just take it if they don't know. I mean, they're either going to feel comfortable and that it's a good thing to take or not. And I can't imagine that I would decide I just don't like the sound of it, so I'm not going to do it. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
quite people deciding their own medical, what's going to be good or not for them. I'm still frustrated walking into stores. Like I was in Sam's the other day and this young couple, well, young, I'd say they were 35, and had their, both of them, and they're pushing their cart, and they both, it was just like, it was too much for them to have to wear those masks, and they just both pulled them down. And so I knew it was like one of them just couldn't breathe. They were defying that in the store you have to wear your mask. So they worked in so they could get in. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating that people think that's a big deal to wear a mask.
Right,
I know.
In this,
I know.
We
with
were at
what-
a softball game
what-
and the pitcher's wife came and she didn't have a mask on and they said, you have to have a mask on, and
yeah.
wouldn't, so they made her leave the game.
Well, they
Good for
should.
them. Good,
Okay, yeah.
good.
If they don't follow the rules, they'll
You guys,
shut.
I've got to go. I hope to see you all next week.
Okay, Gene.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for letting me know
Bye.
about Urban. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right.
Well, I feel like, I'll be honest, those young punk SOBs. Excuse me, Diane. Excuse me, Diane Mansfield. I'm sorry. But anyway, I wish they could have gone through, like, let's see. I wish they could have gotten drafted. I wish they could have been in Vietnam. I wish they could have been in Korea. I wish they could have been in World War II.
Yeah.
These poor babies, but they got to wear a mask. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Every time I see them, I punch them.
Such a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree, Tom. It just really upsets me. Yes.
It's
Oh,
not
so-
just the young. I mean, these are older people my
No,
age
they're
that,
people
that
like-
I've,
Yeah,
like former coworkers that they said, hey, got to die of something.
Yeah, and
Don't
it's
care.
kill me.
Wow.
ATK.
If it
It's
only
crazy.
affected them. I wish it only affected
Betsy, I'm sure, did you guys get word that Porter Miller died this week with COVID?
Who did?
Who?
Porter Miller, AD at Earlham.
Yeah, I don't.
He had been at
Who's
Earlham for, he moved here 15 years ago, Betsy. He was probably at Earlham for 7 or 8 years.
What was his name?
Retired and went in the real estate business with Better Homes and Gardens. Great guy, real motivator of kids, teacher, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. How old was he?
15 days ago, I think it was, Christy got sick.
How old was he?
Yeah, how old?
How old?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how old do you think he was?
64 or 5, I believe.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I know.
I really,
Past
that's,
retirement age, yeah.
yeah, but geez, God, who's young?
Yes,
Active,
right.
that kind of stuff.
You know?
One of my son's classmates, high school classmates, died this week from COVID.
Oh.
Oh my
From
gosh.
COVID?
Mhm.
What
The guy
school?
in Sarah's class? It had to be in Sarah's
No,
class.
Tony, and there's Nick and Scott.
Oh, Nick's. Okay, I was thinking Tony's. Okay.
Is that local for Ohio or Dayton, Diane?
Right, it was in Dayton, Kettering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Father
Fairmont?
and Elsa's, Elsa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
What's that, Diane, for Kettering?
It's at Elsa's. There are many locations, but
Right.
Bill Hemmert's son, Justin.
Wow, yeah.
It all runs right into Oakwood, Dayton, Kettering, Centerville, Washington. They're all.
Yeah, right. They're all.
Right together. Yeah, my
No.
street alone is Kettering and Centerville and Washington Township.
Yeah.
Oh,
My goodness.
Yeah, Ron Road is, it's all, yeah.
Wow.
No.
You guys
you're
can
on
date-
Ron? I thought you were on Med River.
No, we're on Ron. We're
You're
between
okay.
48 and Marshall. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, you're on the other side.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
You're on
Yeah.
the east side.
We're on the bike riding side. We wouldn't ride bikes on the west side of 48. It's too many curves and all that.
There
Oh,
are.
yeah, yeah.
Now, how are things at UD and Wright State and the universities over in Dayton? Are they loaded up with COVID? Does
I
anybody
don't know.
I don't really.
know, Bob.
I know they've had a
Yeah.
couple at UD that have died, some students.
Oh, yeah, there
Oh,
was. a
really?
student.
Wow.
Yeah. A
Oh, yeah.
freshman.
A freshman. No,
Wow.
it's just all sad.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. Bob,
Yeah.
how about your grandson and his, was that a bacterial infection?
Yeah, Bo's son is off of the IV now,
Good.
Tom, and he has 3 months of oral antibiotics to take to finish up. And they're pretty heavy strength, but doing well. And he's actually going, I think it may be next week because his dad's going to be at Sea Island playing golf.
Mhm.
Maybe right after that time, they go to Alworth down in Florida to try out for a lacrosse team.
Outside.
The week before Thanksgiving, I think it is, Bo said. And then Bo will play next week, Tom, and then be off Thanksgiving week. And then have 2 more before the season rolls over.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, great.
Yeah. And while we're on that subject, guys, let me tell you 2 quick stories about the Masters. I'm sure some of you are golf fans.
Yeah.
I'm going to say goodbye. I've got to run. Okay, take
Okay,
care.
see you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
First time Bo goes to the Masters is 2005. He calls me up and he's been in Houston, Texas playing. He said, Dad, meet me in Atlanta tonight. We're going to go to Augusta for a practice round on Monday and Tuesday, and you'll be home Tuesday night. So I did that. So I fly down and meet him, and I don't know if any of you have seen the pictures of Magnolia Lane where you drive into the golf course, but
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. We drive down the golf course, Magnolia Lane, stop, get out of the car. Well, Dad, when we started this, did you ever think we'd ever get here?
Yeah, oh my.
I love the guy, and I love the guy with the golf swing. Ball your eyes out, go to the driving range, stay overnight, go to practice rounds and all that. So when it came time for the par 3 the first time down, I caddied for him. So we walk out to the par 3 first tee, and Byron Nelson and his wife were sitting in 2 lawn chairs. And introduce yourself to Byron Nelson and his wife, and introduce yourself, da-da-da. And Byron Nelson says, Mr. Van Pelt's got to be a proud day for you and your son. I said, yes, sir, it is. So that's my 2 master stories.
Oh,
That's great.
Hey, Bob.
Good.
I have a son who is completely unathletic, and he and Bo were friends in Richmond. I'm sure you don't remember this when we came out to visit my parents.
Right.
And Bo took him under his wing when he was a gangly, I don't know, 12-year-old, and tried to teach him how to play golf. Now, it could not be anything more hopeless. But he was always so grateful. And he said Bo was so nice to him. And of course, Bo,
Sweet.
I mean, it was like an extension of his arm, that club. And to Sean, it was like, oh my God, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But he still remembers that, how nice Bo was to him. So
What a sweet story.
yeah, it was sweet. I mean, it was a sweet little friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can, I mean, just goes day after day after day, something coming up like that, where you just go, wow, cool kid.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Judy Kong.
David Harold, because we're getting close to, I guess we're at 4:20, but David Harold, do you have more stories you can entertain us in the future? Can you send us more articles?
You'll probably enjoy the Vietnam stories even more.
Okay, well, we want to hear those, so get those to us, and then, we want to hear about this.
Okay, you got a couple of those, David, down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were truly a cross between McHale's Navies and Mesh. It was.
Okay, all right, well, we'll look forward to that next week. Well, okay, it's at 4:20. Everybody, this was fun.
Yep.
You guys, everybody have a good weekend and a great next week, and then we'll see you next Saturday.
Okay.
Be careful.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Oh, Katie, where'd she go?
You guys.
Katie,
Yeah,
Oh, there she
is
is.
that dinosaur alligator down there by you?
what?
You haven't seen it on the news? There's an alligator in South Florida. It looks like a dinosaur. He's on the golf course.
Yeah, oh, really? Oh, I didn't see anything about it, even in the paper. It looks like a dinosaur?
Yes.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah.
was in Naples. It was in Naples.
It was in Naples. I thought so, out on the golf course. But nobody has said what they're going to do about it or anything and how he got there.
Well, I'll try and catch up on it, find out about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a report.
Somebody had too much ouzo.
The alligator turned into a dinosaur.
I'm not kidding you. You Google, Katie, Google it. You won't believe
Okay,
it.
I'll find out.
Bye. On the news.
Bye.
See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
You guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Diane Duncan,
Yes.
thanks for bearing with me.
When?
You keep me honest. I'm always real careful that I don't say
You don't
any
have to
bad
be.
words.
Well,
It's great. You look good, by the way.
Yeah.
We like
I
your
can't
hair.
I can't get back to my picture.
Maybe I
Oh,
will.
That's okay.
That's
We-
okay.
You froze, but that's okay. Can you see us?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Well, don't
Oh,
worry.
there you are.
Yeah, there you
There
are.
you are.
Yeah. So your hair
Yeah.
looks great. Did you just get it cut?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
looks
like it.
good. And
Yes,
it's great.
yes.
It's great. Now, what is that? Is that a moose in the background?
Yes, that is a moose.
Oh my gosh, there he is. Oh my gosh.
Yes. We tell small children that the other half is on the other side of the stairs.
Good. I love it.
So is there an interesting story behind that moose head that you've got on the wall?
Well, back in the dark ages, before my husband met me, and became more of an animal activist, he liked to hunt, and he and his folks went to Canada, and he shot the moose.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Wow. Wow.
So it's been a fixture.
Yes.
Well, that is quite,
It came with the husband.
It did. It did. It did.
Funny.
Yes.
Funny.
well, that's quite a feat, actually.
Yes.
So, wow. But I'm like, as Christy said, I'm like Max. I'd like to go out hunting, but I didn't want to go out killing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like, yeah, I'm not into,
I just don't like that.
yeah.
No. No.
So,
Don't like it.
yeah, so I don't want to keep you very much longer, but so what have you been doing? What have you been doing for fun?
I am absolutely by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live in the country on a farm.
Yeah.
And my grandchildren live next door, about a quarter of a mile away, but one of them is quarantined right now.
Oh boy.
Mm.
And that's where my daughter, the nurse, lives. And so I can't see them.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm just kind of here.
Okay. Well,
That's just about it.
yeah, we know the feeling, although we are not out in the country, so we are in a neighborhood, but we're living like shut-ins and hermits.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a big
right.
deal. It's a big deal.
I
Tom
can-
gets to go to the grocery once a week. and-
Well, yeah. Usually I call Kroger and have them get it out and then I go pick it up.
yeah. Yeah.
We had been doing that, but daggone it, it seemed like that after a while, the pickers seemed like they were picking the worst produce.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they would
Yes.
say that, oh, we don't have that, but we'll substitute this.
Yes.
And that's like, but you know what? If I went to my Kroger here in Brownsburg and took the chance to go in, they had all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? And I had
Yep.
to go to the next town down to do
Oh,
the
so
pickup
you-
because our town Kroger wouldn't do pickup.
Wouldn't do it.
But I ended up finally saying, hey, the heck with this. I'm going to try going to Kroger in our town once. And I go on a Wednesday morning.
Oh,
And there was
the early.
There's
Yeah.
hardly anybody. No, you know what? I wait until about
10:30.
9:30 to 10 because the meat people don't open up until 10. And we like to get some, like halibut or salmon, wild caught.
Fresh. Yeah.
Fresh. And they have that. And so if I went like at 7:30 or 8:30, they wouldn't even be open yet, and I wouldn't be able to get that. So I wait until then, and by that time, then the produce guys got pretty much all the produce out. But you know what? There are not that many people there,
Yeah.
and by the time people don't seem to be coming. More people don't seem to be coming till like about 11 or 11:30, and most of the time when I go to check out, I don't even have to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you
Wow.
might check that out sometime if you're really unhappy with the pickup. But if
Yeah.
you're not, then that's okay. Pickup
Well,
safe, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I still have a can of dog food sitting on my cabinet that appeared. It was not on my order, but it was in my bags.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
The
You-
cat doesn't like the dog food.
No, the cats don't like that.
Yeah.
No. So
Well, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for
Yeah.
good to
coming in
see
today.
you.
Yeah. I hope you're enjoying this.
Oh, I am. I really, really am.
Cool.
Good.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's a lot of fun.
It is. It's so
Okay.
nice to get reconnected.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then we'll see you next week.
All righty.
You take
Okay.
care.
Yeah.
You take care too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.